Morning, guys. Hope this video finds you well. Um, I just wanted to get on here and talk to you for a minute. Um, this is a very, very hard video to make. Um, I've tried to make it like I think 4 times so far, um, and wasn't able to finish it. But one of the reasons being that is very emotional for me, and it hits home pretty hard, you know. But um, I wanted today to give an apology from a prodigal, right? Luke 15:11 through 32 speaks of the prodigal son. The prodigal son who took his inheritance and squandered it on all kinds of things. The prodigal son who run off and thought he knew better, you know, but ended up looking at the pods from the pigs and saying, "Oh man, that's tasty," because that's how bad down he had gotten. You know, he's like, "This would be good, right?" And he's like, "Even my servants, even my father's servants, eat better than this." He figured that out. So then he was like, once he realized that, he went ahead and he came home, right? And from afar off, his father saw him, and he, grabbed the rings and the robes and went out to hug him, you know. And he said, my son has learned the errors of his ways." I'm sorry about the speech mess up, but and I'm here to tell you today, I am that prodigal. I am just like he was. You know what I mean? I went through that point. I went through those issues, right? And sometimes I still go through issues, right? Let's be real. We all do. You know what I mean? But as an apology from a prodigal, I would like to say, first of all, to you mothers out there, don't stop praying for them, no matter what you do. Don't do that, you know? And I know it's hard to look at the situation and continue, you know? But I'd say don't stop praying for them. And my mother, we talked about it, and one of the hardest prayers that she ever prayed was, do what you have to do to get him where he needs to be. That's not an easy prayer to pray over your children. It's not. You know what I mean? I can't imagine the anguish in her heart as she prayed it. I can't imagine how she felt as she prayed. Just do whatever you have to do to get him where he needs to be. What a prayer. What a hard prayer. You know what I mean? And coming from a prodigal, I am so glad that she prayed that prayer. Because if she hadn't let go and let the will of God work in my life, then I would have kept doing what I was doing. I would have kept going where I was going, and nothing would have changed. So I don't take that lightly that she had to pray that prayer. I also want to apologize to my brother who had to hold my mother as I was out doing whatever I was doing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And that is something a lot of times we don't think about either. You know what I mean? That your uncles, your aunts, your brothers, all that, they're having to hold your mother as she prays for you and also pray for you. Right? I thank God for my family. I thank God for my mother. I thank God for my uncles and aunts and cousins, nieces and nephews. I thank God for all of them. You know what I mean? I thank God that I was provided a family that actually cared enough to not put up with my stuff. Okay? And I know that's a hard thing to say, but it's true. A family that stuck to their guns, a family that was like, okay, we're not cool with you doing that. We're not, that's not the way to go. And they stuck to their guns and they loved me through it. They loved me through it. Did you hear that? They loved me through it. And all the time, I never thought about that. You know? And to my mother also, you know, to the mothers out there, all of them, my mother and the other mothers out there, it is not your fault. To the fathers out there, it's not your fault that we are prodigal, that we became prodigal. It's not your fault. It wasn't anything you did at a certain time that did this, that triggered it. It wasn't that. Any of that. It was the rebellion in my heart that caused me to do it. So I apologize to you, my mother. I apologize to my brother. I apologize to everyone out there that I have hurt. I apologize, right? Because what we don't realize is, as prodigals, man, is we smell like smoke. Okay, you know why prodigals smell like smoke? Because they left the path of destruction a mile wide behind them. Of people we hurt, of people we did wrong, people, because we were so selfish and we thought about us. I thought about me. I didn't think about anybody else. I thought about me and what I wanted, when I wanted it, and how I wanted it. You know? And I squandered her love. I squandered her patience. I squandered her discipline. Yeah. I squandered all those things. You know what I mean? And I apologize for that. I truly do. There are people out there right now that really don't know if they ever see their child again. And they cry at night because they go over their lives and they see the things that they've done, and then they're like, well, hey, that was my fault. I triggered this. And once again, I'll say, it wasn't you. It was me. It was my selfishness and everything that I wanted to get and everything that I wanted to do. And I can never, ever make up for that. But I will tell you this, you'll never catch me making excuses for it either. I've done what I've done. And if you are a prodigal out there, I want to say to you, look around. Are you really doing as well as you think you are? Or are you surrounded by a bunch of people that are willing to yes man you to death? People that, that aren't looking out for your best interests. No, they're not. You know what I mean? Because every time you say something, they say, yes, let's do this. Yes, let's do that. Yes, let's do that. How about you look around and find a person that's saying that doesn't make any sense? Don't do that. Because that is the person that God has sent to get you back home. That is the person that God has sent to guide you back in the direction you're supposed to be in. but you block them or you cut them off or you stop talking to them because they irritate you to death. Well, they were sent to irritate you. They were sent to remind you of the love you lost at home, that you left at home, right? I was stupid. That's the only way I can put it. I was stupid. I walked away from love. I walked away from kindness. I walked away from peace. I walked away from the mother who loved me. I ran away. But like I said, I am so glad that she was willing to let go and place me squarely in the arms of Jesus Christ. As she was willing to let the Lord do whatever it was necessary for him to do in my life to bring me to the point I am. Right? And I also want you to understand that I'm not trying to stand on a soapbox, because if I tried to stand on a soapbox, it would be broken by the weight of my sin. So I don't talk at people and I don't talk down to people. I talk to people. We need to make sure that, we're putting compassion back in our prayer, man, that we're putting compassion in the things we say. You know what I mean? I never, ever, 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 ever want to not go there with the people I'm praying for. Because I am a sinner, saved by grace. I am not perfect. As a matter of fact, I'm far from it. I am a prodigal. And I do apologize. I want you, mothers and fathers out there praying for your children, hold tightly to your faith. Hold tightly to the things of God. And you may not know it right now, but your prayers are working in their lives. And see, when I say prodigal, a lot of people think of, the guy that went far, the kid that went far, far away. No, you don't get it. You can have a prodigal right there in your home. You can have a prodigal right there in your house. Right? They're not gone yet. They're not out and about. They're right there in the house. And they've isolated themselves. Or they've started to rebel right there in the home. Don't stop praying. This is a battle that my mother, this is a fight that my mother realized. She had to fight on her knees. She had to fight in her prayer. She had to rebuke the devil of every bad thing that he told her was going to happen to me, and every bad thing and outcome that he had for me. She had to rebuke the devil in her thoughts every day for that. And all the time she was praying, God was working to make me better. God was working to bring me home stronger than I was before. Excuse me. So, coming from a prodigal, we truly apologize to you mothers and fathers. We truly apologize to the sons and the daughters that stayed while we were elsewhere. We truly apologize to our aunts and uncles We truly apologize to our families and friends that we left you there to take care of the mess we made. So this is my apology to you. And I hope that you understand that this comes truly from my heart. I thank you, aunts and uncles. I thank you, brother. I thank you, mother, for not giving up on me and for seeing me coming from far away and still holding on to those rings and those robes. And I thank you for welcoming me home with no judgment, with nothing but love. So to my family, I truly apologize for how I've hurt you. And that is my apology from a prodigal. If you are a prodigal, also, go up to your mother and tell her you love her. Don't miss another minute of the great things that God has for you. Don't give up when it gets hard and people don't respond the way you want them to respond. Don't give up when the consequences of your actions come to you. God has never left you. Even in your times of trial, God has carried you. He watches over you now, the same as he did then. So coming from a prodigal, I thank you all for the man you've made. I thank you all for the love you've given. So in that, sorry, I thought we're going to get emotional, but with that, I just want to say, look around you, prodigal. You may not think that they love you. You may not think that they care, but they do, and they always have. God loves you. God has never left you when you went astray, and he's not left you now. But be willing to go deep inside of yourself. Be willing to humble yourself and go through whatever those consequences may be of your actions. And on the other side, if he walked you through when you were out there, he'll walk you through the consequences also. And he will never put more on you than you can bear. So coming from a prodigal, I pray that you all be blessed. I pray that you find your way. I pray that you enjoy every moment that God has provided you. I pray that you understand his mercies are new every morning. He has not left you. God loves you. And peace and blessings to you all. Love you guys. Thank you for watching this video. Do me a favor if you can. Share it to somebody you think it might help. We love you. We thank you. Stay blessed.